Namaste, teachers. Namaste, all. So, as I said, when I stopped yesterday, I said we will be having a quiz for the day to start with. So, before we could go into the quiz part of it, and quiz, okay, as Sir Swaminathan Sir was saying, it is a little difficult to remember things. Okay, in a diluted form, quiz is now converted to something else. To that, I will come. So, let us first hear a speech and then we will start our session. So I thought this speech would really help all of us, a motivational speech. And when you hear this person, you will know. Can you hear? Ma'am, is it audible?
No, ma'am, it's not audible yet.
No, ma'am, it's not
I
audible.
think, yeah, increase it, ma'am.
Now?
No, not audible.
Okay, 1 second. Now, can you hear?
Oh, no.
No, you
We
paused
should
it
stand
actually.
for a
Play it,
culture
ma'am.
of excellence. The excellence not by accident. It is a process
Now it's heard.
where an individual continuously strives to better oneself. The performance standards are set by themselves. They work on their dreams with focus and are prepared to take calculated risk and do not get deterred by failures as they move towards their dreams. Then they step up their dreams as they tend to reach the original targets. They strive to work to their potential. In the process, they increase their performance, thereby multiplying further their potential. This is an unending life cycle phenomena, culture of excellence. They are not in competition with anyone else but themselves. That is a culture of excellence. I'm sure each one of you will aspire to become a unique with culture of excellence. I learned every youth wants to be unique. Every youth wants to be unique. That is you. Every youth wants to be unique. That is you. But the world around you is doing its best day and night to make you just everybody else. Question is whether you want to be you or everybody else. Being like everybody else is convenient at the first glance, but not satisfying in the long vision. The challenge, therefore, my young friends, is that you have to fight the hardest battle. You have to fight the hardest battle which any human being can ever imagine to fight, and never stop fighting until you arrive at your destined place. That is the unique you. To get the unique you, it's a big battle. The battle means you don't need to take a gun. The battle means you have to have 4 unique things. 4 unique tools you must have in that battle. One is you have to set the goal. The second one is acquire the knowledge continuously. And third one, it's a hard work with the devotion. And fourth is perseverance. Where there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. When there is beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there is an order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world. Question is whether you...
Thank you so much for listening. I just thought before we start this, all heard it. It was audible, ma'am. Was it audible?
Yeah, it was.
audible.
Okay, so the person that we we are being inspired of is the great APJ Abdul Kalam ji. So as he said, it's a culture of excellence. And I do believe that if you are all here and we are all here in a virtual platform is just to have that excellence. That is, it's as always said, give and take is a policy that we are having here. So it's not just one person talking and the others are listening. It's each one's point is taken into consideration and we are all striving for that so-called excellence. In the years to go, how many ever years we are faculties, we are teachers, we have to have something to work upon. And that something is what we are now in here for this day. So that is how it makes us unique that we are teachers, because round the clock we learn. Every moment we learn, every second we learn, and from every child also we learn. Maybe like when we are in class, sometimes one child can change the notion that we had when we entered the class. So we are learning from different age groups. And then those learnings that we have, we improvise it. And then we try to bring it for the next group of people. So namaste all of you. Once again, happy to see you back here. And then, as I said, let me go into the session, the second day session. Already geared up?
Yes.
We will have some activity today. I thought that would be really nice. Me talking. I feel a little bored. So I thought from what we saw yesterday, what I sent you yesterday, that is the summary of the budget. As teachers, how would you put it across to your students? I just want one-page summary of how it will go to your students next year. I would just brief as to what we discussed yesterday. We said there are 14 important sessions points said by the finance minister. If you want only the gist of that also, I can stop this and I can share that with you all. Only those 14 points, starting from the infrastructure, ending up with the taxation policies of the government, direct and indirect taxes. So which are the areas that we will talk to them? This is the first one that I said. 1 second, I'll stop this and I'll share what we had yesterday in a nutshell, in a gist that I had shared with you all. 15 sectors for achieving vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. The next slide, going with one sector, what is there? The Gati Shakti, which is the infrastructure, modern infrastructure that the government is planning upon. Then the next one is agriculture, the importance given to food grains production and enhancement procurement. And the third one is accelerating growth of MSME, how to accelerate the MSME's growth rate. Then the fourth one is education, where we spoke about one class, one TV channel program for the students who are in the rural areas, so that they can also benefit even when they don't have this virtual facility. Then health, very important aspect, because during the pandemic, that is where we were struggling very badly when we got the disease and the aftermath of it. Then the spirit of Prime Minister's Gati Shakti and its objective to enable livelihood activities for the youth and women and fulfilling gaps in the various sectors, especially in the Northeast region, where we tend to say that there is no much development. Then the next one is productivity enhancement and investment. where we are talking about the chip embedded e-passes to the people, modernization in various aspects of building bylaws, then implementing town plan schemes, then centers of excellence in the urban areas, and battery swapping policy for charging stations in the urban areas. Then again, the continuity of that, the other points. Followed by the transition to carbon neutral economy, the thermal power plants, the CO2 savings, then the central bank digital currency system of the government, boosting up the digital economy, then financing of investments, the schemes for financial assistance provided to the states for capital investment, the trends in deficit, that's the chart, followed by the tax proposals of the government for the upcoming year, the financial year 22-23. And that's the summary of it. So these were the 14 points that we highlighted. I just want to know how it will go to the kids, like such a huge summary. And what is just relevant for us? How are you going to put it across to the children? We know that the budget, how much ever we try to put it across in their minds, they won't be able to understand things. So just want to know from your end, how will it be diluted into one-page summary or a half a page so that it goes to them in the way it is required to them, because all these areas we are touching upon both in macro and in IED for 12th standard. And for 11th standard to start with, we can tell them, children, budget is very important and the gist of it. As sir said yesterday, to start a budget, how we doesn't directly go to the national economy, that is for to the nation, we just started from home. Appa's budget, Amma's budget, and this is what I have for the month. And you can't go beyond it. There's no money with us. So a small example will make them understand what the budget means. In a family, if the budget means like this, then why is the government releasing all these things? And what is the purpose of we knowing what the government is doing? Why should the government inform us? Now, a curiosity for those who have completed this. Now, Mayurapriya ma'am, if in case
Yes, ma'am.
like in 12th, we do have projects, and if you feel that the children can still do better in the so-called budget with the 14 proposals, how would you put it across to them?
Project.
Yes, and I just want you to think about how project and the budget of 2022 can you make it across kids so that they will work upon it and then they'll bring you some more ideas?
Ma'am, actually money, no, it inspires all of them. Okay, whoever it is. So when it comes to a pocket money for them, so we can start off, actually I used to start off with their own pocket monies. That is, if they get 500 or 1000, how well they try to spend it. Or else there are few students who have told me that they used to save money. So savings they do, they are interested in going out with the friends like that. So with the small amount, when they are able to do so much, like with the budget and everything, so then we can take it to the country's budget. So imagine in a country, so such a big, huge country we have, and so many people are there, then how you will put forward the same thing is they will try to analyze that and go and find out what actually can be done in a better way. So I think like that, when we start off with a small example and then give them the actual content, then I think they will be interested in that. If I'm wrong, you can correct.
Mayurapriya ma'am, I think
Yes, ma'am.
Archana ma'am was trying to ask you as to how
How you
the
will
children would analyze as part of the project.
Yes.
That's what she wanted to know, not how you would introduce budget to them.
Okay. Sorry.
Can you
Yeah,
incorporate
how
these
you would make them
proposals?
analyze the budget, if I'm right. Am I right, Archana ma'am? Was that what you
Yes, ma'am.
wanted to know?
Yes,
Sorry,
yes.
sorry, ma'am.
How
So
would
I
you
thought,
put it across? Because see, as sir said yesterday, it's impossible to make a child understand all these things. Now, since we have in 12th standard the project, how would you incorporate this idea, the budget, part of it to be the project? How would you motivate the students to go
that is
about?
how they will present it. Like that you're asking, right? ma'am?
No, how will you want these children to take from this and make it a project and bring it to you? Will you work it out with that? Because I have a plan like that. So when I saw these proposals, I just thought, okay, these are the things that is coming for Indian economic development and also for macro. So one proposal, if you pull out from here, you can make a comparison with what the economy is going through and what the economy expects in the course of the time for the next financial year. At least to some extent, the children can learn. And when they are doing it, at least 2 to 3 kids, when they do it, don't you think that would serve the purpose of making a few of them understand how, okay, this is one of the proposals of the project. Now, very interesting thing, what I find, these kids may not be going for all these things. Maybe here they will go into. Don't you think, ma'am, transition to carbon neutral economy?
Yes, ma'am. And digitalization.
Obviously, yes.
Digitalization, they'll be very much interested.
They are doing. This is something which is catchy, that the child will be interested to make it as a project. And these 14 proposals are more than enough for 14 kids to do a project. Soumya ma'am, what do you think, ma'am?
Yes, it can be very much given. They can even take up a central budget and compare it to the other state budgets. That can also be
Yes.
done. That
Yes.
and they can bring out the various expenditures and receipts that they learn.
Yes, yes.
Right. Ultimately, at the end of the day, they'll have to write the board exam and then they'll have to score. So
Correct.
they will have to identify the revenue receipt, the capital receipt, whether it has gone up or gone down. What is the effect? They should be able to probably understand why the deficit is going to go down or why it has gone up. So you have shown a slide over there wherein you have showed that fiscal deficit and all other deficits have gone down. So probably, that's the one. So they should be able to, link up the revenue receipt, revenue expenditure, or there again, a capital receipt and the capital expenditure, look into those figures and try and show how this could go down. So probably that they should be able to do it, given the theoretical knowledge.
Yes. And when they do it, they will come out with so many examples. So many examples which would help them. Because when like each one of us are doing things on our own as teachers, when we are learning certain things on our own, what we feel is we become masters of that particular small thing that we learn. So that is how we can introduce the budget which is a lengthy one, the budget which has 14 proposals put forth by the finance minister. That could be very well given to the kids, whoever is interested in these areas, and it can go as a project work, and that would really benefit them because they are the future citizens of the economy who has to really put in their heart and soul for the development of the country. So that is what I just wanted you to give me a nutshell of what you felt and how it would be taken up to the students of the upcoming 12th batch. So this, if you are saving it somewhere after this class, I think this summary of mine would really help us all throughout the year. Like you can give one to the kids and then tell them, you can just find out some more added info about this, and that will really help us. So while I was doing this slide, while I was preparing myself for the training session, the first thing when I just put this slide across, not the summary part of it, when I put this slide across is what came to my mind is, yes, I got 14 projects for the year 22-23. Rosina ma'am, anything to add on to ma'am?
So one of my children last year
Hmm.
has done that's a project that is a union budget. At the same time, that is, she was a comparative study of the Tamil Nadu government budget.
Okay.
In that way she has done.
I remember you telling me this in that associate meeting that we had. And ma'am, one child is there from KRS, a student who does his own business. So the child, what he did was he just took that his own small business and he made a project. And Jayanti ma'am was telling me all about that. And Rosina ma'am also spoke to me about this. No, Jayanti ma'am, the project was really nice. No,
Employability.
Jagadish project, yes, ma'am.
project. Yes, yes.
And also that external also she appreciated him.
The child, I know.
Why?
I think you know. He'll be very well appreciated because it is his own business, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Shop. I think it's a small hotel, no, ma'am, Jayanti ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And the child after the class would go help the parents, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So the 4 of them are doing that business, and this child was like he did that work. So,
Yes, ma'am.
so from here, we still can provide more other. Like take the key things like agriculture. If you have students whose parents are into farming, into agrarian field, from there, because this slide here is giving more emphasis onto that. Agriculture and food processing. So what is the government going to provide them with? So from here, then again, you can pick up as a case study, and then you can give it to the students whose parents are into it, and ensure that you'll get the best out of it. So this is what was running in my mind when I did the topic, when I just took it down in the form of a slideshow. Now, coming to the next slides that I have today.
Can I add something for this?
So I'll share my new slides for the day.
Okay.
What I thought for the day is like, I just want you to tell me, like now we know, we have finished talking about the budget. Now, every year when 11 standards, when we get the new batch, we always come across a question like economics is not what we studied in 10th standard. Suguna ma'am will know because ma'am is handling social science, and ma'am, hope you're handling economics also there because it's a part of it. So with that notion, when the child comes to 11th standard, and when the child is given micro to study with, to start with the central problems of the economy, the economic activities, then demand and supply, the statement that they say is, oh, economics, what we studied in 10th was easy, and the economics, what we have now is really tough. Every year we come across a statement. Every year come across this statement. So what I tell them is, children, this is the subject that we are going to study, the main. That is, this is what the subject demands, micro and macroeconomics. So how would you put it across when you are going to handle the session is what I just want to know. If someone could tell me, how will you start your first class or your second and third class with the new batch of upcoming 22-23 11th standard students? Manoj sir, can you share some views of yours as to how you normally would start?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, what I am when the first class starts with the major. For some, normally I'm starting with the Amartya Sen's that welfare definition only, and
Okay.
I will point out that he is the only Asian who got the Nobel Prize. Then that what area he covered, that mainly in the welfare economics, that I am starting, ma'am. Then most of the successful finance ministers, especially in the states, their background will be most probably economics. So it is not a normal subject, which earlier you have seen in the class 9 or 10. We need to go in an elaborated way. That will be pointing out. And after that, economics is not as completely belonging to the humanities background. it is somewhat in the scientific approach only we are doing, mainly with the data. That only next area I am covering.
Okay.
And then another one, the recent development in economics. For example, in IIT Gorakhpur and all, why economics is added as a subject to mainstream. These kinds of the things are pointing. So altogether, what you actually you learned from the 9 and 10, from there it is totally different. We are taking main what is the micro concept. Then microeconomics will be covering. Then I later will be coming to the macroeconomics. Micro, maybe your imagination, what you are, what way you are creating the image when we are teaching, that will be more important. But macro is coming means practically we can show. So this area covering, and then I say that there will be a difference of what you learned from 9 and 10 and 11 and 12.
Okay. So a little eager to know about Sugna ma'am. Ma'am, is this your first batch that you're going to take economics for the 11th, ma'am?
No, ma'am, as you said, yesterday you said no. So what are the scopes for economics and what are the benefits of economics? Then I have to start without economics, run our business or anything. So like that, I can start now.
Okay, no, my question to you was, is this the first batch that you're going to start this upcoming, the next academic year, or you have already been there with 11th and 12th?
No, ma'am. This is the first session.
Okay, this is your first year.
This is the first year we have. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay. So, Jayanti ma'am, last year was her first batch. So, ma'am, how did you start the session with the children, ma'am?
We have switched over state board to CBSE. What I said, if you understand the concept, first of all, economics is an easy subject. While I am teaching, you want to understand the concept. If you understand, this subject is very useful because it is related to our life.
Yes.
If you are going to market, if you are buying any product, so from that we are learning law of demand. So the producer producing lot of goods and services. From that producer, we are studying about law of supply. So it is a easy subject. We are going to study lot of theories and also to part 11th standard, I said microeconomics as well as statistics. So microeconomics is related to market and also consumer behavior. Statistics is related to, we are going to study about lot of regression, correlation. So lot of maths also we are going to do. Like that I have started now.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Rosalina ma'am, how would you always start?
First question, why you join in this course?
Wonderful. Okay. Commerce, why did you
will say we want to do business in other.
Okay.
Business, what is your expectation?
Okay.
Profit. They will say profit.
Okay.
Then what product you want to make? First question.
Okay.
That thing in that way they will say. And say, if demand is there, please you produce that product.
Oh, okay.
So I can connect with demand. Today also, that is Akshaya Tritiya Day now. I asked a boy to make a project. Why on Akshaya Tritiya Day, great demand for gold?
So
in that
different
way,
themselves, like when you ask them this question, the first answer that comes from their mouth is do business.
Yes, most
Very
of them.
They have come to that point. We have to do business. Okay. So that is
then I can connect with the law of demand.
correct.
Second one, what place you want to choose to run the business? They will say this place, that. I'll say wherever the consumers are there.
Okay. Availability. Yes.
Yeah. Wherever the consumers are there, it should reach the consumer in that way. If you select a place, definitely you can sell your product. The third one is the price. What price rate you want to fix for your product? If it is too high, people won't come. If it is too low, people will think that is an inferior quality. So moderate price rate you have to fix for your product. So 3 P's you have to follow. PQ. Price, product, and that is the place. If you follow, definitely you can earn. So why we have to learn economics? So many theories are really help you to do your business, especially the law of variable proportion, I'll say.
Okay.
At what time we have to shut down the business,
Huh.
even we can prolong the business or not. So in
Mhm.
that way, I'll start my class.
Nice, interesting. No, Soumya ma'am? The
Yeah,
child,
absolutely. I think that's more or less a summary of microeconomics that ma'am has come out with.
ma'am has completed the textbook as such.
And one more thing for that is the statistics. So even for your PhD also, you have to do that as a project. So for this thing, that is 4 topics are there. You, in the analysis part, you have to prove that is objective. So for this proving of that is the project that is objective, you have to use any one of the tools of that is a statistic. If you thorough with that is the tools of statistics, in the future, you can use it.
So a beautiful way of putting it in a nutshell what the subject is in the day one itself. So the child will have a clear idea. This is what I'm going to do. So ultimately it goes up to his final thing, that business and my profit. And you are teaching him how to earn that profit. Very good. Thank you.
And fixed factor and variable factor, usually I'll say, we have a, that is a T-shirt. So
Okay.
tell me which one will be a fixed factor, which one will be a variable factor.
Okay.
So they will say tea powder, coffee powder, milk, sugar, gas stove, benches, fan. In that way, they will say, first of all, we will write all the things on the board.
List down all those things. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. Finally, I'll ask, is it? Even they will say tumbler. If I say if it is a paper cup, it is variable.
Okay.
If it is a ever silver
Then
tumbler,
put it on.
it will
Okay.
come. So in that way, we will make it.
Okay.
And positive and normative economics also, in what way? If I keep a bowl of chicken curry in front of you, what is your feeling? They'll say, nice smell it comes, everything. Then you will say it is very tasty.
Okay.
Then you usually I'll ask them. After we eat, after we taste it. So tasting is called as a normative. Then this thing, after once you see that is a bowl of chicken curry, that is called as positive.
Whatever they like, what they relish the most. Okay. Thank you. Thank
If you make the correction in the chicken curry, that time we are applying some sort of the correction. It is possible only in the normative. So only we are all seeing this thing and we are commenting. That time it is positive.
Yes. So my third slide was this. It's Bloom's taxonomy. What we always study during our B.Ed time. So it's to remember, to understand, to apply, to analyze, evaluate, and create. So the sequence in which ma'am had said, I think the Bloom's taxonomy has reached its zenith. No, Soumya ma'am? So all the factors that is there in Bloom's taxonomy, ma'am is utilizing it in her day-to-day life. And that is what we have to do as teachers. When we give them live examples, they will have that in their mind. Because we always keep saying, it's always with assumptions that we talk about each and every concept in our subject economics. So when there is an assumption, it can be like this. And it may not be like this. So when we are giving solid examples with the concept of Bloom's taxonomy, when we do our work, definitely that will help the child remember the concepts wherever they go and in whichever age they are also. Because Rosina ma'am had given me this example then. So that is how the children are able to correlate the subject to their day-to-day life. So in their day-to-day life, if they have to correlate the subject, they should have examples which are live examples and which should be there in our life. And whenever we take this chapter demand, to start the chapter, when we start the chapter in a beautiful way, the child will understand. But for the child to understand this chapter, there are so many new terms that we use. Normally, what they use in their day-to-day colloquial way, when we put it across like this, demand, And when we start the chapter, we say it's a desire. We split the definition. It's a desire backed by the ability and the willingness to pay for a commodity. So yesterday also we were discussing the same thing. So demand will only be acquired when we have the desire, ability, and the willingness to pay for the commodity. So we are giving examples to the children. And the examples will be like, if you go to the shop and if you wanted to buy a shoes. Okay, you saw a shoes that your friend is wearing and you were like, you felt happy when seeing that. You thought of going to buy the shoes. When you went to the shop, you realized that the worth of the shoes is 1,500. I have only 700 rupees with me. So will I be able to buy the shoes? Can I call it a demand? So that is how, as ma'am said, we'll give a number of examples to the children and ask the children to come out with so many examples. So the class will become so lively. And when the class is lively, n number of examples they'll bring, and we within 20 minutes will be able to finish off that particular portion that we started for the day. So the next thing that we have here is a little challenge. When we are drawing the graph, when we draw diagrams, the slightest difficulty that we have is to make them understand what should be there in the x-axis, what should be there in the y-axis. And especially when we are, first we can talk about demand. Okay, when normally price and demand are inversely related. So when the price of a commodity increases, the quantity demand decreases and vice versa. This is how we start with. Then when we show this diagram, it will go smoothly. And it is understood that as a consumer, I would only buy the goods when the prices are low, because I tend to be a rational consumer. So when the prices are comparatively low, we will try buying the goods. Now, coming to the next diagram. Expansion and contraction of demand. Jayanti ma'am, last time when you taught expansion and contraction of demand, what all examples did you give them?
Expansion. If the price decreases, the demand will increase. That one how we are calling expansion of demand. If I'm going to buy one pencil, I'm giving 10 rupees to my child. Go and buy 2 pencil. If the price for 3 rupees means she will buy 3 pencil. Why she is buying 3 pencil? Because the price fall from 5 rupees to 3 rupees. So that one how we are calling expansion of demand.
Demand is expanding.
Yes, ma'am. Demand is expanding. Why the demand is expanding? The price was reduced to from 5 rupees to 3 rupees.
Yes. When the price went down, the example that I have here is the price was 6 rupees for a particular commodity, and when and that time the demand was only 20 units of that particular commodity, we can say itself. And when the price fell down to 2 rupees, the demand for pencil went up to 60 rupees. So we are showing this in the curve. And now, when we start teaching them the diagrams, we have to be very, very specific as to what should be there in the x-axis and in the y-axis. And we have to very clearly tell them that if you don't do this, if you don't write it, if you don't mention it, we will be reducing marks. And in 11th standard, deliberately reduce the marks. Yeah. Soumya ma'am, I'm right, no ma'am?
I don't do that. I don't deliberately reduce the mark. And for this concept, actually, it would be better if we are going to tell them about the ceteris paribus condition. If price is reducing, that is the only thing that is going to change, and all other factors will remain the same. So if they are clear with that, then they will not have any confusion about the movement along the same curve.
Shift, yes, ma'am. Movement or shift, yes, ma'am.
So what I do is, first exam, that midterm exam, I'll reduce their marks. 1/4 mark I'll reduce if they don't write x-axis and y-axis. That is quantity demanded, price if they don't.
That is expected in the board. You are not wantedly doing it. Actually, the x-axis and the y-axis, it should be marked. The diagram should be labeled properly because the diagram carries mark. It carries to an extent of half to 1, sometimes even 1.5 marks.
1.5, yes, yes,
So,
ma'am.
I will simply ask them, what are you measuring the X and the Y axis? Is it monkeys and donkeys, or is it what is it? I mean, it's just no name. So probably they'll all laugh out, but they'll remember to write it the next time.
So this time when we start our 11th standard, we will ensure that this is what is initially told to them. Because when we ignore it, the child also will tend to ignore, because we always ultimately conclude that children are children and they do make mistakes. So nib it in the bud itself, take off 1/4 mark, and 1/4 deducted. It may go up to 1.5 marks if they have more diagrams. And then when they come back to us, we can tell them, didn't I not tell you that you have to write it properly? Yes, they will lose marks for the midterm. It's fine. It's okay. Absolutely perfect. So that they won't make mistakes for the board. We are training our kids for the 12th board. So, however, they are doing it in 11th and 12th, they'll carry on the same thing when they are moving out. And then in 12th standard, when we are correcting the papers, we can feel the difference there. Definitely the children will know, oh, my 1/2 mark, if it is gone, then that will have a great difference in when my marks are converted. So let me not make a mistake from my end. So I just thought I'll share a few diagrams with you so that we will tell the children, yes, when you are drawing it. And here in the shift, expansion in demand, for us to understand, for the kids to understand, we can see how the arrow goes. So when we teach them, when we show the arrow down shows that as the price decreases, the quantity demanded is increasing. So as Jayanti ma'am said, the 2 pencils that the child was expected to buy, now she's able to buy 3 or 4 pencils. So this is shown with the help of a diagram, and that very clearly will make the child understand, okay, this is how I am supposed to draw the diagram. And diagram always should go with the schedule. So when you draw a diagram, it should have a schedule. So that is when we are able to correlate the units there. What is there in the x-axis? What units have the child taken in the x-axis? What's the price that the child has taken in the y-axis? So the schedule with the diagram is very, very important when we train them with demand and supply. So, ma'am?
Yeah, what is it, ma'am?
Ma'am, I was talking to them about the schedule, the importance of schedule when they are drawing the diagram.
Right. Actually, for this one, we can even ask the children to have another column which shows income. For instance, they can show income and that would remain constant. Yes. Price is falling and the demand is increasing, right? Or rather expanding. Yes. While the income is constant. So they can work out, right? So they can work out and they can understand better as to why it is falling. I mean, why there is a fall in the yes, demand when the price goes up, or the other way around.
Because when we talk to them about price and quantity demanded, we are always concerned about our budget. We know that we have only this much of money in hand. As Jayanti ma'am said, this 10 rupees I gave my child. So that is the income that the child is having at that point of time. So with that 10 rupees, whatever I'm able to buy, I'll buy. If I'm not able to buy, I won't be buying it. I'll just buy what is just sufficient for me, and then I'll come back.
Yeah, so they'll have to understand that the product becomes cheaper, right? You simply ask them, when price goes down, why do you buy more? They say, no, it's cheap, so I buy more. So they'll have to understand this cheapness. So that they will be able to understand only when you explain it with the income. The income being fixed, when the price falls, the ability increases and thereby the consumer will be able to buy more. So it's not a bad idea if you could have that income column also. Simultaneously, you can even explain the price effect and the income effect that we normally do.
So, and slowly and gradually, we are training them for 12th standard also this way. When we talk about aggregate demand, aggregate supply. So then when they come up to 12th standard, yes, they do have a better understanding of why did I study microeconomics? When I'm going to calculate national income, why am I studying microeconomics, and why did I study demand? Why did I study supply separately? So to add on to the same thing, the next one was the contraction of demand. As ma'am said, the income, say for example, it's 10 rupees. The prices are increasing from 246 and the quantity demanded is decreasing. That is again being shown with the help of the curve. So quantity demanded in the x-axis and price remaining in the y-axis. And the curve has to be named. DD is the demand curve. SS is the supply curve. So when the child is taught there in 11, then mistakes that may occur will not happen. And when we are reducing the marks, just to make them understand the pinch of it, yes, it's fine. So I just have a few things. Now, here, the main ingredients that we have for the lesson. The meaning of demand, substitution, substitute goods, complementary goods, normal goods, inferior goods, market demand, demand function, cross price elasticity. Now with this, can you just list out a few things? How will you explain with some examples? Each thing if you take, demand, then substitute goods, complementary goods, normal goods, inferior goods, market demand. Till there, 6 points. How would you give examples? What kind of examples will you be giving to them when you're talking about these things?
Especially for
yes.
substitute goods.
India and
Substitute goods, if we are using all the time that we are using Colgate or toothpaste at that time. Okay, when we are going for the shopping that time, that particular shop, this one is not available. Colgate, what we are using it at home is not available. And when we see that bubble is there, and which use the Krambu and all, and clove oil and all, that will give a more protection to the teeth. Then at that time, okay, instead of Colgate toothpaste, we can use this or Gopal Palpudi. That also can be substituted like that. See, it is not necessary that the demand for this particular is not there. There are substitute goods are available. And complementary goods are those which are useless in the absence of other good and which are demanded jointly. That means whenever that the complementary goods is nothing but buy one, get one. That is, if you see the expiry date, it will be in a month or even 15 days only available, the date of expiry. At that time, they will give a complimentary. We buy this extra one like that.
Sir, is it that complementary good that we are talking about here? Is it not
the
products that are used together?
Yes. This
Which
one.
Together only the want should be satisfied.
Yeah. Okay, I understand.
Complementary goods, you can tell car and petrol or car and
This one, what we have in hand.
Fan with electricity, pen with paper.
Pen with paper. Right. Okay. Right. Along with that.
So when we give them examples, the examples that they have with them, pen and a refill, pen and cartridge. Nowadays they have pen and cartridges because pen with cartridge may cost them like 45 rupees or 50 rupees if they are using a Trimax pen. So you can very well tell them when your cartridge gets over, you'll go back to the shop. And when you go back to the shop, you are not getting the same cartridge. What will you do? They say that there's no stock for the cartridge because now there's no demand. So with that, will the body of the pen be of any use? No. So that is how we give them examples. And then that is much easier for the child to understand. Complementary goods. So this is what is the meaning of a complementary goods. Now, how do you explain an inferior good?
inferior and normal good now.
Yes.
Usually I'll say ration rice and the quality rice.
So the rice
Our
from the
income
ration.
is less. Definitely we will buy the ration rice.
Okay.
That time only for the guest purpose only we will buy the normal rice, 1 or 2 kg. So most of our needs will be satisfied with the ration rice because our income is less. Our income it increases much. Definitely we reduce the consumption of the ration rice and we try to buy that is more of the quality rice.
True. So ma'am gave a genuine example. That is the rice, the ration rice. We know the quality obviously is less, but the price is affordable for us because we need not spend too much, because 1 kg rice in the market for that you buy in Nilgiris, it varies. Minimum of 42, it can go to 80-90 rupees. boiled rice and raw rice. So it's a first quality rice that we are buying. So as ma'am said, inferior goods are goods which we consume when our income. Again, here the villain is
income.
yes, when the income is less, definitely we tend to consume less quality goods. Okay, our income increases, then yes, income has increased and the standard of living is increasing. So when that standard of living is increasing, that inferior good is no longer taken into consideration. We go with the normal goods. Yes. Now, what is this cross price effect? Who can give me an example of this cross price effect? How would you put it across?
Cross price
Yes.
effect.
The price of the
Substitutes,
petrol is
complementary
increasing.
goods.
Hmm.
Price of one good is affected for another good's demand.
Okay.
Substitute, example, substitute, complementary, it will come under cross price effect, ma'am.
Okay. Any one simple example?
Tea and coffee, ma'am. When the price of tea goes up, we go for coffee. Like that.
Cross price effect. Is this what it is? Tea and coffee, the substitutes, when the price of tea goes up, we start consuming coffee.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other examples to cite? Any other examples? Any other examples that you have that you can share?
Then Vanaspati and ghee.
Vanaspati and ghee. Okay. Very simple. They'll be able to understand also. Okay. How do you put it across, Rosina, ma'am? Vanaspati and ghee. What's the difference?
The price of ghee increases, automatically the demand for Vanaspati will be increased.
Yes. The price of one good will affect the demand of another good. Correct. So with examples, when you could put it across to children, rather than putting the concept into their brain, examples will work a lot. Especially our subject is like that. So more examples, when you are preparing your topic, try to put in a lot of examples and what the child do understand. So from the child's point of view, whatever things the child is using in his or her day-to-day life, if you are able to put it across to the child, yes, then the child will understand, oh, this is what is meant by cross price effect. So when the price of one good is affected, whether there's an increase or a decrease, the price of the other good is also very badly affected. So that is what is the meaning here of the definition. So this way, the children are able to correlate the subject to our day-to-day life. And that is when we are successful as economics teachers. And we also become an economics student when we hunt more into examples which are related to a child. So we are a student, we become a teacher, and we put it across in the right manner that they understand and they'll never forget. And if these two chapters are very thoroughly put across to them, I think the rest of it will be much easier for them. The only difficulty that they would have is to start with the demand and the problems of that. Once they are thorough with it, yes, they will just gear up and they'll be more eager to know what the teacher has for me the next day, with what new example she's coming with the next day, with what new idea she's coming with the next day. So she'll be eagerly waiting for the teacher to listen to her lectures, to listen to her class, because you give them n number of examples. And those n number of examples are ultimately making us successful. When we started it, we said it's a culture of excellence, as Abdul Kalam ji said. So one day we are sharpening our tools, and we are, after one session gets over, after 1 year gets over, we go into the so-called concept of excellence. And then yes, furthermore, we go up the ladder as excellent teachers, because the child will have a feel. Whoever junior comes also, they'll say, if this is a teacher that comes to you, then need not worry, you are in the safer zone. So you would have heard so many students speak, if you get her or him as a teacher, yes, Centum is there for you. You score the best. So that is what ultimately we from our end are also trying to do, so that we all mold ourselves into beautiful personalities and what the students best expect from us.